Hello, everybody. Welcome to another stream of Exploring Avatar. We're back. Hello to everybody in the chat. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you. But like always, we need to say hi to Drew. So, Drew, how are you, man?
Doing great, Jerry. Thanks for the nice introduction. It feels like it's been forever.
that's because it actually has
uh,
cryostasis. We just got out of cryostasis. Oh man, yeah. It's
well,
it's
I
it's it's been a minute.
I think at one point, we thought this year would be filled with lots of new Avatar content, and it kind of hasn't so far.
Yeah. I know we've talked about it a lot outside of the podcast. Man, yeah, I would. It's safe to say it did not turn out as we expected. So yeah, man, it's been like almost nothing to talk about. So that's been kind of a bummer. But you know, when we do have some little bits of info, we come here, we talk about it, we have some fun, and honestly, I think from here on out, the rest of this year, it might get a little busier because of Frontiers. So everybody got to thank Frontiers this year for giving us some type of Avatar content. And I honestly think it's going to be an amazing, form of Avatar content. So we can engage with it, like you said, Drew. You said before, a lot more than a movie. A video game. You get 20 hours, 40. People can sink in up to 100 hours, especially open world games. So this one's kind of like it stops whenever you want to stop, you know?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that because it doesn't really matter, how long the movie waits are going to be, and they're of course always going to be lengthy. We're gonna hang out on Pandora anytime we want to, but man, there's some really familiar faces here in the chat. People that are almost always with us. It's nice to see you guys back after so long.
Yeah, thank you guys for showing up. We have Brendan Lewis, Brianna Brown, Snake Eyes, and Afton Child, like always. Thank you guys for showing up. We have these periods where we kind of go away for a long time because there's really nothing, but it's just it's really cool that when we do come back to see some familiar faces here, and then we just we can have a good chat again. So hopefully that's the case again tonight. uh we'll go over any of the latest updates on Frontiers that we've kind of gotten. We also have received a story trailer since we last did a podcast, so that's gonna be interesting to dive into as well. So yeah, man, should be a fun time tonight.
Also, if any of you guys in the chat, if there's anything you guys want us to touch on or any thoughts that you have while we're talking, feel free shoot those out there. We'll try to touch on as many of them as we can.
Yeah, definitely. We'll just kind of, we have our own little notes here and things we're going to go through. But of course, if you guys want to talk about something, or we'll just chat. But
Wait,
yeah,
you
so
have
let's.
notes? Uh
Oh, oh, you know how those
oh.
always go.
I
Yeah.
can't even write, so I'm just gonna have to wing it.
Oh man. But yeah. So we'll kind of go through the story trailer. I took screenshots of every like major little moment in there, and I felt we'll just go through the different screenshots, kind of give our opinion on like little things that are going on, maybe new little info that we might have, and just what we think about the overall, this trailer and the overall story so far. Of course, you don't have too much to go on yet. A lot of more in-depth gameplay and things, soon to come because Ubisoft is just about to launch Assassin's Creed Mirage next week on the 5th of October. So the next major game they're going to focus on after that is going to be Frontiers. So we're right around the corner for more, extended gameplays, which we haven't gotten, which would be great to see, and just more deep dives that they'll do in these next few months, leading up to release, like they just did with Assassin's Creed. So yeah, the yeah,
I just realized I know absolutely nothing about Mirage because I've been so focused on Frontiers. I'm not going to be buying that game, at least anytime soon. And yeah, normally I'd be pretty excited for a new Assassin's Creed game, but it's gotten no attention from me.
Yeah, I mean the last few games, I really liked them ever since they transitioned to this new like open world with starting with like the origins and like more of like an RPG with those
Right.
elements in there. But this one, it's not really like another major game. The history of this Mirage was actually it was just supposed to be a DLC for Valhalla, just a
Oh,
DLC
really?
going back to explain like the backstory of the assassin you meet in that game, which is Bassam. But I guess during production at some point they just felt, hey, why not? Let's just flesh it out a little bit more. So it's still not a fully fledged big game, which is also why it's at a reduced price. I believe it's at like
Oh, okay.
$39.99. Yeah. So
See, I didn't
it's
know
like
any of
a
that.
it's like a glorified DLC, but at least they're not trying to charge you full price like some other, you know, other companies have done in the past. So that's good. And at least for Assassin's
Interesting.
Creed fans, you get something for now. I believe the next major game's like maybe in the year or so. But yeah.
Yeah,
Uh
in a year or so, I will still hopefully be playing Frontiers.
oh yeah, for sure. Especially because we'll still be waiting for Avatar 3. Every time something makes me remember the delay, it's like an RIP for the December 2024 release date. You know what I mean? But hey, we always know that the wait's going to be worth it. It's just, you know, they're still never fun, but like you have said, Frontiers is going to make the wait for 3 and even 4 and 5 in the future that much easier just because we can always dive back into Pandora whenever we want, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Or, never leave. Like, quit your job, all that. Just go full in Pandora.
uh, let's see here. We have Snake Eyes says he's been playing a bunch of Breath of the Wild. Great game. I did love that game. Trying to get Tears of the Kingdom. Also, do not play Mortal Kombat on Switch. Yeah, I heard that that port did not come out pretty good. So hopefully they patched that up. But yeah, it looked kind of rough from what I saw. But I mean, it's the Switch. It's basically running on like PS3 technology. They just said that a upgraded version of the Switch, maybe like a Switch 2.0, is coming. I think next year. It's rumored, but even that will just be at the power of what the PS4 was. So they're definitely not catching up to like a next gen anytime soon. So, but yeah. Oh yeah, Afton Child says the strikes are over, and I'm happy. But hopefully that one resolves soon. But yeah, the writer strike finally ended after 5 months. So thank God, because that's a lot of people that can now return back to work. And honestly, for the entertainment business and a lot of us fans, they could start writing our, continue to write our next season or next movies of our favorite franchises. So, it's good for everybody all around, and I'm glad they, kind of got what they wanted as well. So, thank God for that, and hopefully the actor one ends pretty soon as well. And I'm hearing that that's kind of why we got that delay for the Avatar 3 is in anticipation that there was, the writer and the actor one that was going to happen. So, in a way, at least it was kind of like they, it didn't have to get announced because of the strikes. It was, but that's basically why it happened. It was just kind of anticipating it. So, at least we'll get that in 2025, and we know it's going to be, it's going to deliver like they always do.
Yeah, and I'll admit, I mean, I've known the strikes have been going on, but I haven't really followed along at all. Like, no idea what they're asking for, or if it's justified or anything. But I will say that I am glad they're hopefully getting both of them resolved soon. I'm glad the writer one is over. I just want to see, content being made, so that's all I've really been worried about.
Yeah, exactly. So let's dive into the story trailer, breaking it all down. And of course, if you guys catch anything yourselves, let us know. And let's just kind of start discussing it. So I'll start with the first screenshot here of the story trailer. Come on, come on. There we go. So the trailer begins, and it's our character, and obviously we noticed that scar that we've seen in all the promotional materials, and it's even going to be pointed out later in the trailer. So we'll just discuss it more then. But I'm I'm pretty sure even from when we first started. I think our last podcast, we were mentioning how that's going to be very important, and it's probably something to do with the clan that you're from. And honestly, it's kind of good to see that we were right on a lot of things, which we'll kind of touch on later. And one that you reminded me of, and I kind of had forgotten we had called that out. So yeah, he's our character, but don't forget, guys, you can customize the character. I know that in all the pretty much all the trailers, they've only shown like this female version of the protagonist, but we can also make a male version and then customize different things at the beginning. I'm assuming like maybe the hairstyles and things like that. So I know that a lot of people were starting to wonder, especially after this trailer, like, can we even make a male? But yes, you can.
which I am glad for. Not that I mind playing as a female, but I love that having choices.
Just so that everybody can have a choice. Yeah, exactly. And it's really interesting because right here you kind of start, the protagonist starts kind of going into their memories, and you remember the main antagonist here, John Mercer, and he was the head of the ambassador program. So not the Avatar program, the ambassador program, which they call TAP. It'll be on the T-shirt of the protagonist for a while in this trailer, and you'll even see it on some of the guns. And basically, what that program was, it was abducting Navi children from either very very young age or even infants. I don't recall which one it exactly is. And then basically just raising them to learn, the human ways, the RDA military ways, in order to basically fight, against the Navi themselves. So that's what they were pretty much raised to do. And so that's already a very interesting, story plot point. And obviously, like we mentioned before, in terms of video games, it kind of out the door explains why we'd be able to use not just Navi weapons, but we're even using human weapons, even though it violates one of the rules of AWA. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, really, it's a great plot point. I mean, it's a great way to kind of justify the use of your character being able to use both, but also tie it into the story. Like, I gotta give it 5 stars for that thought, because it's intriguing, but it also makes sense and shows how evil the RDA is, of course.
Yeah, exactly. But I guess what happens in these events right here that we're seeing is when the battle for the Hallelujah Mountains, which is that final battle at the end of the first movie, starts. Um, Basically, this has to get scrapped, and he actually orders for the children to be killed, the Navi children that they have abducted, which you are a part of, but it's your teacher. So the teacher that you have in that program, which is an avatar driver, that one that saves the children and kind of puts you guys into cryostasis, and that's where we have been for the past 15 years until basically the RDA returns, as we have seen at the beginning of The Way of Water.
Again, another nice way to kind of keep the same timeline going. Like, I like that was how they played that off. Because it's cool that your character is essentially from the time of the first movie, but then you're not going to have aged along with everyone else.
Exactly. And your character will still basically be like us, still wide-eyed and experiencing everything of Pandora for the first time because they basically only raised you in the facilities. So pretty much when you finally step out of cryostasis at the beginning of the game, I'm assuming, it's kind of like your character's first steps into Pandora itself, which is crazy to think of. You know, you've been there, that is your home, but this is the first time you're really getting to experience it. And at least us for the players, it's kind of like a conduit because we are also going to be wide eyed and just, in first person, kind of just looking at Pandora like, oh, this is crazy. Like we're here, we've seen it in the movies, but now we're going to be in an open world setting with great, AAA game graphics. And I like that, it kind of goes hand in hand like that. The player experience and the protagonist at the same time.
Yeah, and even though we're going to be a literal not V, it's almost like we have our own avatar this time around, you know? You have full reign, full control over what happens, so I'm so excited about that.
Exactly. And here we go. We have the protagonist kind of just looking around, being wide-eyed, and there they have the RDA ambassador program shirt. It's like the two hands kind of touching is the symbol, and then it just says tap. So we see that for a little bit in the trailer. So eventually, it looks like you'll get into let's see here. And then boom, boom, boom. And then one of my favorite elements, of course, as we see in this next one, is they start to show us, the wildlife on Pandora just kind of, living their lives. And honestly, I'm probably going to spend so many hours just admiring, just seeing Pandoran wildlife just run around and just, me, myself, just run around without even doing missions or side missions. So, man, yeah, it really is the game that I've, been wanting all these years ever since playing the 2009 Avatar game after seeing the first one, where that one, like I was telling you earlier, it's kind of like it was just like a tie-in, movie merchandise game. It's at that time, they weren't really games that were getting all the big budgets. They weren't really pushing any technology forward when it came to games. But this one, this one really is. This one's an actual big AAA game, and we should all be excited for it. I sure am. And it's just traversing Pandora in 3 different regions, brand new. It's going to be awesome, and seeing brand new wildlife, of course, too. Like we kind of even see here in this still.
Yeah, it's like you said, man. Just especially when it's not a still, when you can see the actual video of like animals moving, creatures, water, and just hearing that ambiance and the sounds. And dude, I just want to take my character and park it somewhere and just watch everything. Like I swear I could spend 30 minutes just doing that right off the bat. So I feel the same way, man. So excited to dive into this world.
Exactly. And one thing I loved about the 2009 game was they had an in-game Pandorapedia as well. So it was kind of like you discovered a new animal or plant, and you got those entries. I'm gonna love to also do that in this game, especially because they're introducing so much wildlife that we haven't even seen in the movies themselves. So that's gonna be super exciting. Just like this creature right here looks awesome. So can't wait to learn all the names. Get all the lore entries, and obviously future videos right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and look at that landscape. I mean, that's like nothing we've seen before, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's just going to be exciting because I even know, even within landscapes of like part of it's going to be familiar, I still think there's going to be other parts are a little bit less familiar, kind of blend the new with the old. And I love that. It's going to be fun seeing stuff you've never seen before, but also at the same time, some areas being kind of familiar to what we've seen on screen as well.
exactly. Like the I love that the introduction a region, like the first region that we will come across, I believe, is the Kinglor Forest. It has very similar vibes to what we know of Avatar 1, yet it's still a different rainforest. But it was genius to kind of like ease us into it by giving us that familiarity. Because honestly, we've been missing it for a lot of years. Other than the first movie, we saw very little of it in Avatar 2. So to finally have another forest that resembles it in a way that we can now explore to our heart's content for everybody that loved the forest, and I'm one of those where the forest from the first movie still to me is like the best. Um, yeah, I love that that's the first region, and then they kind of get a little crazier after that.
Yeah, I agree. And even as I've seen more of the Kinglor Forest, like it is very familiar, but at the same time, it's not exactly like where the Amathakaya live. But I love that. I love the familiarness of it, but I also love that it's not exactly the same. So it's still going to be new and different to explore, but also very familiar. So I hope
Yeah,
there's like a nice fine line there that they have laid down, and it's just you don't feel like, oh, this is boring. I've seen all this, but oh, hey, I've never seen this tree or this plant or this animal. So I think there's
yeah,
going to be a cool melding of familiar and unfamiliar.
exactly. And then we'll continue here. And this one here, it's another character that we've seen in a couple of the trailers. Uh, but look at that; they look awesome. The Banshee and like just seeing the Ikrons with the gear on, it's incredible, man. Like I can't wait to customize our own Banshees, our own Ikrons. So this one looks great, but it's the part in the trailer where let me go to the next slide. This particular character comes up and points out our mark and says, you have the mark, you are Sarentu. And that goes to, you know, basically, we found out Sarentu's the clan that you're from, but now they're done because of this ambassador program. They are decimated, and you're basically the last one left. So you have, you're gonna have all the legacy and the heritage of this clan, kind of on your shoulders and to reclaim as well. And in a little bit further, once we get after done with the trailer, we'll kind of remind everybody where we've kind of seen that clan name before and what we'll get game wise when it comes to that. But yeah, here in the trailer, that's where they point out that that's what the mark means, man. So we still don't know if it's like a mark that clan supposedly are, they did themselves, or if it was the ambassador program that just marked people from that clan. So we don't know that yet. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, that's, I mean, probably the first thing I thought of is like, does the clan do this, or is this something, almost like a brand or a scarring that the RDA inflicts on you just for tracking purposes or whatever? But so I'm curious to learn the answer to that. And also, like, kind of getting ahead of myself and this the whole episode, but like, I think it'd be awesome as this game goes on, even if it's not until DLCs, if at some point you find like some remaining members of the Sorrentu or maybe some that escaped and you can bring them together and kind of like reform the clan. Those are just ideas I'd had of maybe kind of a happy ending to the whole clan. And maybe that's not what's going to happen. Maybe you are all that there is and you're the last one, but maybe you can reform the clan. I'm not sure. I just have some fun thoughts I've been throwing around in my head about the Sorrentu clan and like where this story's going to take us.
Yeah, for sure. And I believe with you might be onto something, especially with the story expansions. It could be that, that's where it kind of goes to in terms of the DLC, where maybe you do find some other lost remnants of the Sorrentu clan. And then, like you said, you can kind of start that spark to maybe bring that clan back. So yeah, man, it'd be interesting to see. But even if we really are the last ones, it'll be a great story, especially with what the game's gonna offer us, which will show later the gear and stuff like that. But another shot here,
Man, I
and
love
this
this
one,
shot.
yeah, and that's the home tree for the I believe it's the Aranahe clan. That's their home tree right there. And I actually do have a daytime version of it for people to get a better look. So I know in the description it kind of said, they put out on their socials, follow the bioluminescent trail, to get to the Aranahe clan's, home tree. And then in the daytime, here's a shot of it. We can get a better look. And honestly, I love the look of it, man. It looks awesome.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was mentioning earlier about how like this is very familiar in some ways, but it's also very different too. Like,
Yeah.
yes, we've seen lots of home trees, but we've never seen a home tree that looks like this, and this is really rad, man. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks pretty rad. And like you said, it's familiar, but just it's different enough where it'll feel, fresh and new. And especially when we get to the other regions, I expect theirs to be even more different, and even
Right.
more crazier in design and just feel, that much more unique to the games themselves. But yeah, like you, that was one of my favorite shots. And then we're getting in there in the trailer, and we see this character here who's going to play a big part. They say she's one of the best weavers in all of the Aranahe clan. And
I already
yeah,
love this
so
character just from what little bit we've seen of her.
yeah, yeah, and it looks like this character and that other one. I believe the other one's Etua. That one, the one that was riding the Banshee. I got a picture here. It looks like they're going to be the two most important ones for at least for our character when it comes to the Aranahe clan, because we see right here in one screenshot we had gotten a while back, I believe when they first did the big thing, those are the two characters that are kind of welcoming us into the home tree. And so here we get a look at inside of that home tree that we just saw the exterior of. And once again, I'm loving the look. They really, you could tell they're weavers. Like you got all that stuff all over the place. Man, it's pretty awesome. Loving it.
It is, and this shot and even the one before it, um, it just kind of is reinforcing to me like the fact that I'm actually gonna like this in first person, even though like I love third person and that's what I was hoping this game would have the option, but like just I don't know, seeing them right in front of your face, you just kind of get that. I've already gotten that feeling a little bit of like, yes, this is gonna be all right. Like first person's gonna make you really feel like you belong there. You're part of the world. So I love seeing images like this because I mean
Yeah.
that's something I was kind of leery about going into it. Like I like third person, but this is kind of convincing me otherwise.
No, I'm right there with you, man. At first, when they announced that, to be honest, I was disappointed because I've played like every open world game I play third person, So I was like, how? And they were saying it from the start. It's going to be this is the most immersive way to do it. This is how we want you to, experience Pandora, have that sense of wonder, be wide eyed with everything like you just said, actually just right in front of you. Because when thinking about it, like you were saying, when the camera is pulled back, it's like yes, you get to see your character, but I think the point was instead of the focal point being the character, you want it to be the world. You want it to be the other characters and how how you'll experience it through those eyes like that. And recently playing because they finally really fixed up Cyberpunk. I was playing through that again, and that's how that one was. Similar vibe, open world, and it was a game where they were like, you're going to be only first person, and you'll only see your character obviously when you're on a motorcycle or kind of like inside of the car when you're driving in third person. And that's how it's going to be here, first person at all times, unless we're riding either our dire horse or Ikran so far, maybe some other mounts in the future. Cross our fingers. But and honestly, I got used to it, and I actually ended up liking that. And so I'm kind of ready. I've kind of just I now got prepared to play this one. It's not going to be really jarring. I'm actually gonna. I think I'm gonna love it more than if they would have done the third person. So I guess they were right from the start. I just had to kind of get take some time to get used to it.
Yeah, and that's a good point because I mean I've played that game too, and I guess I never even really thought about it not being in third person because that's I mean it's designed that way and it's a super fun game. If you enjoy the game, the first person definitely doesn't make it like less fun. So that's a really good point there, Jerry. I haven't played it in a while, but if I can enjoy that in first person, I surely can enjoy running around on Pandora in first person.
Exactly. And like, look at this shot here, man. Like right in front of you, you're seeing this awesome writer. They had this one had a name. I don't recall what the name is, but we've also seen this character. But it's not from the Uranahe clan. It's not from that first region. This is from the second region, the ones where you're at the plains,
Uh,
where they're mostly focused on the dire horses. But I mean, look at that, man. You got like dire horses there in the background. This character right here in the foreground. It just looks awesome. Look at those kites they got going on.
yeah, that's
Uh,
cool. I love seeing like the dire horse almost like a herd in the background. Like
yes.
it's just it looks fun because oh man, I don't know. I'm gonna have a hard time getting anything done and not just looking at every rock and animal in amazement.
Pretty much, dude. I mean, come on. It's like we've only had the first movie up until just the end of last year, and it was just whatever that movie presented. Now it's like with this fidelity, we're getting. Look at that. We could see we're going to be able to follow a herd of dire horses. Like that's awesome, man. That's like
It
that
really
scene in
is.
Jurassic Park 2, when they're in those jeeps and vehicles through the herds of all the different dinosaurs and everything. Like that's how I'm gonna feel.
Yes, great point. Absolutely. You're just gonna get out and like wander off in amazement.
Exactly. And I don't know why, but I love this shot in the trailer. It's just of a lone Navi just kind of like readying their spear, probably to maybe fish right there. But for some reason, I really love the shot in the trailer. And this one is from the third region. We can see it's a little more foggy. The forest looks different. They're more like, big sequoia trees. I also like that even that just the fact that you change it from the type of like the other rainforest we've had to this type of forest, it already makes it seem, that much different, even though they're both forests. And then just whatever mysteries this place has going on. They haven't revealed much. It literally it's kind of foggy, like literally. So it's
Yes.
steeped in mystery. I love the look already right there with like those just the arcs even right there under the giant trees. But yeah, this shot of this lone Navi just kind of like readying to like I don't know like get a fish or something, or maybe they were just cleaning their spear or their staff. But it was just awesome.
Hey, this is a shot that stood out to me too because especially when you see it in motion, it's
Yeah,
just like the ray tracing and all that atmosphere, and then you can kind of see into the water, but yet there's great reflections off everything else around you. Like it's almost kind of murky, but man, it's the graphics are going to be, I think, really, really good in this game. And it's like, who is this guy? I don't know. Maybe this is just a random, not the NPC fishing, but I'm just excited for interactions even like that. Like going up to him, hopefully being able to have some like dialogue exchanges. Like, I just can't wait to see how all that works.
exactly. Like you said, it could be somebody that's a major part of this part of the story with this third region. It could be an important character, or it could not. It could just be a random NPC kind of living their life. I would love to that too, because games like GTA and things like that where they actually kind of give the NPCs, they're like really have great mechanical workings underneath, where they kind of are running a full like a day cycle, things like that. They're kind of doing their own thing. So it'd be kind of cool to sit back and observe, some of the, I'll probably do that, just observe some of the NPCs in this game, just kind of see what they do, just living their Navi life, living their best life. Here in the chat, Brendan Lewis says, bro's just chilling by the lake there. Yup. Cyber Spook got great atmosphere. Exactly. I love the atmosphere in the shot. Snake Eye says we're in the dark land now. Yeah, I'm this region right here has me very intrigued. What do they got going on here? I know this one is it kind of seems like it's sick. We kind of even see like some of the animals are sick, so it's really gonna be interesting to see what's really going on here.
It made me want something kind of random too, like if this guy is like an NPC who's maybe not a main character. I think it'd be cool if you could go up to him and be like, obviously this guy is fishing, whether that's for fish or some kind of creature in the water. At least that's kind of what I gather. It'd be cool if we could trade, like, because I know cooking is part of the game. So hey, like I've got a piece of wood from the Aranahe home tree. Like I could trade you for 15 of these delicious elu things, Like, I mean, I don't know. I would love if there was something like that with NPCs.
I'm kind of a wind trader myself.
Exactly.
Oh my god. Hey, like you said, there are some shots in here I was going to show that you see us cooking. See you putting a freaking pot or a kettle in the stove. Are we gonna also be able to do other activities? Like they haven't really dived into what maybe like kind of like just casual task we'll maybe be able to do. You also see a shot of us, picking fruit off a tree. Will we be able to kind of fish like this? I'm hoping that there's some little reveals like that where just some little things that'll kind of make people that maybe have been waiting to do some kind of like Navi role play, those people can as well, get a kick out of just doing these little tasks. You know what I mean? Like cooking, maybe like hunting, things like that. So hopefully a lot of that cool stuff is in the game.
I agree completely because I've never really been about the whole role play in a game life, but for this game, I'll make an exception.
Right? At least for try it out for a few times that we play, just see what it's like.
For a few years.
Oh god.
So basically what you're saying, if we're going to be cooking in this game, we're going to need the Avatar, the official cookbook of Pandora.
I was like, there you go. there's your marketing for that. There's the cross promotion right there.
Seriously.
And then we get this, crazy, cool looking plant just kind of unfurling. This is when the protagonist is saying, it's time to reconnect, to my home world. And then you also see the protagonist, go up to the actual plant and you interact with it. I don't know if this is kind of, maybe there's these certain spots like this where this is where we can open up the skill tree, or there's just going to be certain plants like this around the maps that for some reason maybe they imbue you with more, of your ancestors' memories or power. It could work like that where it's story-wise, it's like you're getting more of their memories, but in video game terms, maybe it's just, it's giving you more, you're leveling up or something every time you find some of these. So it'll be interesting to see what these actually do.
This is almost silly, but like, look at that left hand. Look at like the reflection on the thumbnail. Like that just looks so cool. Like it's such a small detail, but I love that they're covering even the small details in this game.
That's what this ray tracing is going to do, man. It's going to look like right now. I've been since I finished Cyberpunk, I've been now playing the Spider-Man games on the PlayStation, and they have the PS5 versions of them do have ray tracing, and I'm like, wow, man, like this, it really is pretty incredible when you see it. You see it reflected like, on the ground in a puddle of water, you really see like the
Yes.
reflection of like the buildings, even in your, depending on what suit you're wearing, in your lenses, in the glass, on the buildings. When you go up there, you're seeing the other, like the fact that everything just working like it really does, to now see that in this game. I mean, you have the bioluminescence, you have everything. Like it's gonna be awesome to see it in here. So hope all of you guys have, get your PS5s right now, get whatever, next gen console, or spruce up your PC, because I believe it's gonna be an incredible looking game.
And I think that's the biggest benefit to having a next gen console. I mean, besides being able to play this game, like, is the ray tracing factor, like you were just talking about. The
Yeah.
graphics, hasn't taken a huge leap yet, but like the ray tracing just makes everything look so believable and real. I love it.
Exactly, because even like you said, even if maybe the models themselves, even though I think these look great, don't get me wrong, just adding ray tracing, and even also the resolution, like for people that are able to play this like on a 4K TV, the resolution and just the ray tracing will make a huge difference. Even on they've already made a difference on games that are maybe like last generation, but you kind of are looking at them in a whole new light. So yeah, just resolution and the ray tracing is going to make a huge impact with this game. So I can't wait. Then we started to see some of the actual, let's see, first person, like it looks like this is maybe the section where we're doing the Ikni Maya or something, because you kind of see the Banshee in a little bit as well. But you're jumping around. I mean, you're up here. It looks, obviously in motion, it looks so much better. But even this
Right.
one here, and this isn't even the greatest resolution, because obviously it's getting compressed because of YouTube and everything. But man, it looks good, and I'm really loving the first person now. This is awesome. Like a jump, just a simple jump like this, it looks so like, you know, just so immersive, so incredible right here. Just awesome, man. I
Right,
can't.
like we're pretty sure this is the King Lord Forest and all that
Yeah,
first area, but again, like, hey, I've never seen some of those teal looking trees. Like, I mean, there's stuff here that looks totally unique to this area, but also familiar, and I love that. All of the water, like in the background, streams, it just looks so good. Waterfalls, little
yeah,
lakes, like, man, so excited.
man. And then let's see here. I believe this is when we finally confront. Like I said, most likely when our player character is gonna actually get, we're gonna be able to get our Banshee. We still don't know how that works, so I'm sure they'll explain it soon. Whether, even though the way it works in the story, but for a game, I'm wondering, are they gonna let us kind of customize the colors? Like, I wonder how the game element is gonna come into this point in the game when it comes to your Banshee. But
Yeah, I'm curious
it's
too. Like, are we just stuck with? I don't think we'll be stuck with a color, but like, are we gonna grab what other color is made available and then be able to change it later, like in a menu, or somehow are we gonna be able to like select our favorite color of Ikran at the beginning of the game, or what exactly? I think it would be awesome if there was like 15 and you could choose the one you want. It doesn't look like that's probably gonna be the case, but I think that would be fun.
just get 15 of them lined up, and you're just like, no, not you,
This
not
Ikran
you.
does not choose you.
Yeah. Oh my god. And then let's see here.
But
In this
honestly,
shot,
like the Ikran that I have seen, like I would take any of them, even though I would rather pick my own color. Like, look how cool that thing is.
yeah, and in a way, I think I would like if I don't get the choice. Now that I think about it, because just in a way, it'll just seem much more, realistic in a way if you put yourself there. Like, and I'll just appreciate it, I think, a little bit more, the fact that I'm like, this was the one. I was basically lucky to get this one. You know what I mean? It's not like,
Right.
oh, I
Yeah.
had a choice, like and then
Oh,
maybe I should have chosen that other one that looked kind of more purple. No,
I
like
wanted the pink one.
it. Yeah, yeah, right. It like I think it'll be you'll enjoy it more and yeah, just appreciate it more. And obviously, we're gonna get all the gear that you can customize it. So maybe that kind of goes hand in hand, a little bit of a trade off.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad about that at all. That would be very immersive, and it's like I'm not gonna dislike any of them. They're all gonna look cool. So even if I couldn't choose whatever color I wanted, this still be pretty cool.
Exactly. And then didn't capture it here in this screenshot, but right here you're seeing, you got your Nero whip right there, and then when they connect it, the camera's still here on the Banshee, and they included that little detail like when they connect, when it's like its pupil or whatever, like get in,
Yeah, like dilates.
that little detail was in there. I was like, man, that's awesome. Like they didn't skimp out on any of the little details. And then here we go. You just jumping like this in first person looks freaking terrifying, man.
It does.
But it's so cool that it looks like you're gonna have a prompt, a button that you can press, and then your Banshee can swoop in and grab you. That's gonna be awesome. So here you go. The next one is when your Banshee's swooping in, and actually they don't miss out on any of the details. When your character lands, they actually do connect, the Nero Q, so it's not like they forget about that. So it does get connected as soon as you land. It's pretty awesome.
I'm glad. I like those small details, and I like that our characters are actually going to have a tuft of hair on their tail instead of just a bald end of tail.
Oh
That
yeah.
always bugged me in the other game.
Oh, and I love this shot too. Obviously, you don't get it here, but when they're diving down like this, you see the little translucent little membranes there at the end of the wings, just kind of flap, just like they do in the movie when they're going down at high speeds. Just those little details, man. It just looks really good.
Yes, and again, water. Look at those rapids. Like, that's so cool.
Yeah,
And the moss
and
growing. Like, oh,
and then there's this shot here. It was hard to try to get it, but essentially for anybody that maybe didn't see it, right here, you're flying by the water with your Ikran, and then your Ikran just scoops a fish or Pandoran fish out of the water. That is awesome.
yeah, it'll be interesting
Oh
to see how that works. Like, do we have to keep them fed as like eating
yeah,
certain
right.
things? Can
Yeah,
we give them certain stats? Like, it's just gonna be cool to see how that works out.
it's like, oh, he's hungry. Oh, let me fly over this little body of water here so he can like swoop down and collect fish or something. I mean, that's how you'll keep your Banshee fueled up. You got to make sure there's going to be a food meter.
Plus, we
Obviously,
get like a little bit better look of those teal trees again over on the left hand side.
yeah.
Those are wild. Oh, delicious.
The fruit picking. Um, and obviously, all the games do this. I like how whatever your character is actually going to interact with, like from that model, it's like a different color to
Yeah,
the
he's
other
picking the
one.
ripe one, you know? He's
Yeah.
trying to pick the ripe one.
Oh man. But yeah, so we got that shot, and then you got this other shot where we're cooking, man. Let them cook.
Yeah.
Let them cook.
Get the little pot going.
This is
Making
J-
something tasty.
James Cameron right here. Just let the man cook, please. Oh man, this Navi friggin' utensils and stuff in here, man. But yeah, I wonder how deep, these little things that we just saw kind of go. Like the fruit one, I know that's probably just, collecting resources for like crafting and things like that. But how deep does the little food one go as well? Are there different animations for different types of food that you're putting in the stove or whatever you're doing? Kind of like a Breath of the Wild, your characters cooking different pieces. You can, put different pieces of meat or whatever, fruits, and just make your own like unique recipe.
Yeah, it'll be cool because I'm sure there'll be achievements and whatnot. Like you have to collect certain things. Some things will probably be hard to find ingredients to make buffs or whatever you're gonna get out of cooking. So I'm excited to see like how in depth they go with all these different things we're gonna be doing.
I love the comment here. Snake Eyes is like, I'm jumping in that water. Oh man.
Absolutely.
And this one here by Brendan Lewis. I won't let my Ikran get hungry. I'll feed him some amp suit drivers. Oh man. Yeah, you get to see some combat like that in this trailer. Some Ikran and Scorpion combat. I got a screenshot of it, so that looks pretty good as well. And obviously, yes, right idea. Let Jim cook, Disney. Yeah, and it looks like they are. They leave the man alone. Miranda says, super late. Can someone catch me up on what's going on? Oh, well, welcome, Miranda. Thank you for stopping by. And yeah, I'm sure we'll catch you up. But pretty much we're going through the most recent story trailer for Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. And maybe not even halfway through it. We talked too much. But yeah, we're just kind of going almost shot by shot in this trailer and just kind of breaking it down. Just talking about it, giving our thoughts, and then maybe some little info that we do know about what's going on. So yeah, we're just kind of having fun, just going through the trailer. And right here, Brennan says this is an actual shot of James Cameron cooking. So let Jim cook. But yeah, there's going to be this little animation here. We don't know how deep this cooking thing is going to get, but hey, for anybody that wants to kind of role play, hopefully there's going to be more of these little segments for you as well. Brendan says, basically to summarize, the RDA sucks bad. Yeah, pretty much. I guess that pretty much summarizes it. Let's see here. And then apart from the Ikrons, of course, we get the dire horses.
Man, I'm loving the colors on that armor. Like,
yeah, the outfits in this game so far have just been insane. I mean, even the stuff that what we're gonna see later, they throw in like if you get the ultimate pack, the deluxe edition, the cosmetics for your Ikran, man, everything's looking amazing. Like, and just really researched. They really look authentic to like this is Navi materials. This is Navi made, just like in the movie. So, man, hats off to these developers because obviously it looks like they put a lot of passion into this game. It's not just they didn't really skimp on any details, and it looks really authentic. Right here we see a dire horse, that looks great, but we've also seen some, with some gear on, so that's gonna be great as well, man.
Yeah, that looks like a lot of fun. Plus, she has that beehive hairdo going on. I mean, no, that's cool. I love seeing I've seen a bunch of different hairstyles in this game, which is awesome.
Here we go, man. This is Drew. First day of playing it. He's
no, I mean, I'm never leaving the King Lore Forest. So.
You're like, I'll never even get to the point where I ride a dire horse. What? I don't even know how that feels like. You'll never experience this scene right here, the pure joy of just riding amongst other dire horses. Man, absolutely. Just like wild dire horses. That looks awesome, dude.
It does.
It reminds me of like something in like Red Dead Redemption, man, where you're kind of riding around and then you come across like a little herd of like the wild horses.
Yes.
Man. It's like everything we've kind of the elements of that we've experienced in different games. Now we kind of get them like all rolled up into like this game here. That's just it's gonna be the best just for us Avatar fans. Just have the best elements from all these different games we've played throughout the years.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be mad about that at all.
And then what's this one? Oh, yeah, and then we see some more of the action and some orange looking amp suits. So it's I like that even the RDA is gonna have some little bit of customization. It's probably because this is the dual flamethrower equipped amp suit because you got a regular looking one right behind it. But I like that there's that distinction, and I don't think I've ever seen like scorpions with some customization. So I'll show you in a little bit in another screenshot I have. So yeah, I like that they've added some more of this customization even when it comes to the RDA. So
Yeah, I like that they don't all look just exactly like the amp suits we're used to. I mean, it'll be fun blowing these up too. It would get boring if every amp suit looked exactly like what we'd seen in the movie.
exactly. And then we get this little segment right here because we have known that one of the activities we're going to do is be able to come across the big bases that the RDA has around, the maps. And we can go in there and kind of, take those bases back. But now it even shows us we're going to be able to find out in the wild that they've maybe have, got some of the animals and we have to, help kind of set the animals free. So they'll be trapped right there. And then you kind of see our
I'm
character.
also kind of interested in what they're doing with those animals exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Might have something to do with what the ones that do look kind of sick. Because we have seen in previous trailers where I believe it was even a version of like this type of animal, but it was one in that third region that really looked sick. It honestly looked like he had like a fungal infection or something. So it's just really going to be, like you said, interesting to find out like what is going on. But what do they even want with them? So,
I
but
love
here we
seeing the
go.
scale right here too, because I mean we know how big an amp suit is, and I mean look how big that animal is comparatively.
Yeah, love the design of that. The huge spine in the back. It's awesome.
Yeah,
And I love this shot here in the trailer. It first shows our character running, and then we have the clothes that we're gonna have coming out of the cryostasis, the tap T-shirt, and then you kind of go behind it. You run behind a tree, and then when you spit on the other side of the tree, now you have like the full Navi outfit and garments, face paint and everything. Like I don't know why, but I just love that little transition shot right there. And then obviously you jump up in the air, and then about to let loose with an arrow. But yeah, man, so it's gonna be cool. Like also the different gear that we can collect. Do you want to look a little more, more RDA? Do you want to go really traditional Navi? I'm sure there's gonna be choices. So that as well is
I
gonna be
think
interesting.
I think I'm just gonna rock the standard issue tap T-shirt and a pair of blue jeans.
throughout the entire game.
No,
Oh
I'm
my
I'm
god!
really excited about all the customizations and things that we can unlock. Yeah, sign me up for that.
In your hand, you're like, I got tap T-shirt, blue
I'm
jeans.
good.
Oh, it's like exactly what Jake described in the first movie. For what? Okay, T-shirt and some blue jeans and some light beer.
That's right.
You're gonna hold that Viper Wolf can that we saw in Avatar 2. That's Scoresby beer, bro.
Scoresby Brew, yeah.
Scores brew. Oh man, got to get back home to his company. Uh, yeah.
I feel like I'm
Then I
actually
love.
falling right here.
And then I love this little shot right here with the first person view. Kind of the arrow one, and then it transitions to the different weapons you can use. So here's the arrow, and then obviously you because of the story reasons. You're able to also wield the RDA weapons. Also, it says tap right there, so it's from the ambassador program. So we got the assault rifle here, and then we even get a freaking like rocket launcher. Where I'm like, really? So there you go, man. So you even get a rocket launcher, and you're about to aim it at that amp suit hiding behind that little wall right there. Oh yes, Brendan, the Viper Wolf logger. Christine says
rocket launcher. I mean, you can't make it out, but like, I mean, there's writing and everything on it. Like the detailing in this game is just fantastic.
Yeah, it's. Let's see here. Oh, Christine makes a pretty good point. It says a black market does exist for Pandora resources, so maybe they're being captured for that purpose. So maybe similar to, kind of how we saw in the Way of Water, you could extract that one source from the Tulkuns. Maybe there are from certain creatures, out in these maps in these regions that maybe they have their own valuable resource as well that could be valuable for them in the black market or just back home. I would assume we still haven't seen much of them, but remember those huge ones for in the plain region, the huge creatures that I kind of thought were just like homes because they just all we ever see them is just like slumbering
the
there
or whatever.
Yeah, I thought they were like a huge tent themselves until they open its eye. But so they have to have some kind of super valuable thing in them as well, because honestly they're gonna be like the size of Tulkuns and stuff, so
right,
it's gonna be like the land version of a Tulkun.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what the story is behind those giant creatures. I mean, they serve some purpose, and it seems to be kind of integral to that clan. So, curious what that is.
Yeah. And then that's what I was talking about earlier. We get to see some of the, Ikran versus Scorpion action, and then right there, some cool, customization there on the front of that Scorpion. We got the the painted teeth on there, because I don't remember seeing any of that yet, unless I could be wrong, but I don't recall that yet, like in the movies. Maybe in some other expanded material, but just not yet in the movies.
Yeah, I don't either. It's almost like what we'd see now, like on a A10 or something.
Yeah. And then you get this cool shot here where it's confirmed you can kind of go up to, you can shoot the glass off the amp suit and then rush in there and just yank the driver out and just yeet him out of there. So that is pretty cool. Brennan says that's what he's going to do to feed his banshee. So there you go. Dinner is served.
I mean, save your ammo, save your bows or arrows. Just yank them out, smash them.
Yeah. Oh, man. And then we just get a look at being inside of one of these RDA bases. Looks like there's certain sections that you're going to have to destroy, blow up, and then, kind of causes the whole base to kind of be cleared.
Looks like that's how you get the grenades on the end. And
yeah.
It's a small detail again, but I love the look of the string on that bow. That's awesome.
Oh, you're right. It is actually very, yeah. Oh, man. And then the just this
on the hand, yes.
Oh, man. Just the little details here, and we haven't really even gotten a big sense of the game yet. We have no extended gameplay, but just all the little details that we've kind of been pointing out along the way and that we've seen throughout all these trailers. man, it's really living up to it so far. And then obviously here we got the base is cleared. It says, obviously the RDA will leave this little area, and you'll kind of see Pandora kind of reclaim it a little bit. Maybe some of the animals will come back around this area, things like that. It could be that these are polluting a certain, radius around them, which is what maybe is causing some of that stuff. And our job is to kind of rid, the map of these so that it's complete. It continues to heal. I think I remember one of the trailers said that it would allow Pandora to heal again. So
Yeah, I believe in that trailer it kind of showed Pandora taking back over too after you destroyed an area.
yeah. And here's the final shot. We get our final hero shot here of our protagonist. And yeah, that's a great shot. You got a destroyed amp suit there in the back with an arrow through it. that is an awesome little shot right there.
And a pro tip, you always want to walk back over your arrows so they go back into your inventory.
My God.
Somebody's leaving that.
Yeah, just go back and yank it out of not just the glass, but out of the body. Neytiri would be happy, says Brianna Brown. Oh man. Let's see. Oh, and Miranda's asking about the deal with the situation on the character customization. So even though these trailers have only really shown like this protagonist female with the same sort of look, they have confirmed that you will be able to, completely customize your character, not only between, male and female, but also I would assume some hairstyles, some other, maybe your markings a little bit. Because even the mobile game, it really allowed you to even choose like the particular stripes, like stripe patterns that you wanted. So I'm assuming even the full console game would offer something like that, hairstyles, stripes. And then your gear, that's something you'll collect along the way later. But yeah, you should be able to choose between male and female, they confirm. So I didn't know this thing right here. Blue Husky says, so far my only issue with this game is that it seems it won't be on Steam, nor on PS5 or Xbox Series X physical disc. Huh. I mean, I didn't even pay attention that there isn't an actual physical disc version. Are we sure the ones that are sold? Huh.
That's not something I had noticed either way, honestly.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe the versions I've seen up on Amazon are physical versions. But I could be wrong, and they might have changed it. But I believe the versions on Amazon I've seen are physical. We're getting the collector's edition, Drew and I. I don't recall that's supposed to have. I know it has like a steel book, but a lot of collectors nowadays, collector's editions, they don't really give you the disc. And I think it's so that people that bought the digital only PS5 don't get kind of shafted when it comes to buying a collector's edition if you don't even get a digital version of the game. So I think they maybe just did digital all around, and to please the physical collectors that are still buying it, you just get like an empty steelbook. So it's kind of a weird time. We're in this weird transition between like Xbox really wants to go just digital, as like some leaks from the trials they've had about purchasing Activision. Their next console is supposedly gonna only be a digital version. There's not even gonna be like physical discs. So hopefully that doesn't come to pass. To know there are.
I checked out Best Buy while you were talking, and it does show that At least the first thing I clicked on, it shows software format, physical software requires a disk, and it does show that this has a disk. So
Okay.
I don't know. I can't say either way.
Yeah, I believe the collectors for Blue Husky and Christine, it will be a digital because, like I said, they also didn't want to exclude, maybe anybody that has only a digital version of a PS5 to, be excluded and not have a way to play the game, even though you paid like whatever the price was. I forgot, maybe 250. Um, so I think what they came up with for a lot of the collector's editions nowadays is a happy medium to just give out a digital code, but for the physical people, they give them a case that yes, it'll be empty, but at least you have, there's people that just like the steelbook case there to display. I mean, I don't know. To me, I'm not really into steelbook, cases or editions, and I'm still kind of 50-50 on physical and digital, leaning now more towards digital just because of it's just, so much more convenient, but yeah, for the ones that want physical only, I believe there should still be an option for that. And then this is where we have seen before the name of the Sorrentu. And when we first heard it, Drew and I were like, this isn't one of the clans they mentioned as part of the main game. So here, if you look at the what you get in the Ultimate Edition, of course, you get your digital art book, the season pass, which has 2 upcoming story packs, and then available at launch, an extra quest and some more, unique Banshee cosmetic sets and more. But over here, if you look at what the Ultimate Pack itself consists of, it's a Sorrentu Heritage cosmetic pack. And then we even had theorized at the time, we're like, watch this be the clan, of our particular protagonist, because it wasn't one of the clans mentioned as the 3 as part of the main game. And so with that, you'll get let me get another closer view of it here. You get 1 premium weapon skin, which is going to be that. I mean, look at that bow, man. That's a nice bow. And then 1 character cosmetic set. I mean, that outfit looks awesome. And then a Banshee cosmetic set. So far, that's my favorite Banshee cosmetic set. Like, that looks insane. What do you think about that top portion right there, Drew?
That bow is very bougie. Love it. No, that's pretty wild. I love that they kind of went all out, just something we haven't seen yet.
Yeah,
Like, cause I mean,
man.
it matches what's on the Ikran as well. Like, it's kind of out there, but I kind of like it too.
Yeah, like at a time, in a way, it looks like a little much, but I don't know. Like, I still look at it, I'm like, man, that looks incredible. Like, because also, obviously, this is a very grainy image, and but when we get to see this in game, I mean, look at all the detail that's going to be on not just the costume and the bow, but like on your Ikran. Look at that. It has like the outfit goes throughout the entirety of the neck. The headpiece is insane. Down there by the claws, like just the detail on that is awesome. And like you said, just looks like authentically like Navi made. It looks great. The attention to detail. And then down at the bottom, so we do get another Sorrentu Hunter equipment pack. So another a character gear set. I don't know how that differs from the character cosmetic set. So you do get a gear set and then a 1 unique weapon. Whereas the other one is a premium weapon skin. So I don't know how those work. I guess maybe the actual weapons will have their own stats. And then what you could do is kind of like we were just talking about Cyberpunk, you can maybe apply just like a certain skin on top of a bow and maybe even change the look of it, but yeah, you'll keep the stats of that particular bow. Maybe you just wanted to change the look. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Like maybe some are better for longer range or something, and some maybe for shorter. And so it
Yeah.
looks like you get, yeah, it looks like, with having both of these, you can have the Sorrento actual bow and then put on a cosmetic set, which I'm gonna call that cosmetic set the Yeezy One.
Oh man,
But
I
no, that
like
looks
that.
cool. But I like that idea too, though, like of being able to change your different weapons. Like you don't have to have a different weapon for a different look. Being able to put a different cosmetic set's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think they call it like transmog or something. Like you can do that in Warcraft, I think, where you can have it look like whatever you want, yet you keep the properties of whatever actual weapon is in your inventory. And you could either, obviously take off these skins if you don't want them, or apply them so that, for a time you can run around with a different looking weapon, even though it has the same stats. So, but yeah, to me, it kind of seems like the top section is more like a full on like Sorrento, like ceremonial, like maybe this is like royal garbs, because that looks like a royal banshee. That's like like a Olo Egton bow and outfit, whereas the bottom is just like a Sorrento hunter, so it looks a little more reserved. The outfit's not as crazy, and the bow isn't either.
Yeah, I think you nailed it too. Because I mean, maybe we have access to our clan's old stuff, so maybe that explains like where that came from. Like if they did kill the Holoecton or whatever, maybe that's kind of like honoring him or not. I mean, I
Exactly.
really don't know. Just throwing things out there.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever played it, but that recent samurai game, Ghost of Tsushima,
Yeah, I have.
had a similar thing where your clan, your family kind of is also pretty much wiped out. And in there, along with all these other gears and stuff you can collect like this. Literally, it's like you can collect the actual like royal super, decked out armor of your family, the royal family part, and then there's even like that at the bottom, a more reserved version of just like maybe the standard ranks of that family. So you kind of could rock a more reserved or fully go all out with like samurai helmet with antlers and everything. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from these two. The difference, and it's pretty cool. I like that. I like the choice. And if you can't get any more Sorrento, which most likely is not gonna happen, but if they make it where like this is the only way you can actually get Sorrento like garbs and gear, this ultimate pack's like you might want to grab this pack if you really want to like have your character kind of rock their actual clan outfits and heritage.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you're, like you mentioned before, kind of into the role play aspect. But I know the way I play, I am usually kind of more of like reserves. Like, I don't usually like the super flashy stuff, so I would probably be more inclined to rock like the hunter skin, at least for like the clothing wise or armor. But
Yeah.
I might like, I might feel a little frisky and want to rock that Gucci'd out bow at the same time.
I think I'll have to go that top half all day. But going back, in these packs, we're gonna get so many other pieces of gear as well. I mean, don't forget you get, just for pre-ordering it, we got the Child of Two Worlds cosmetic set as well. And then right there, as part of the season pass, which is going to be even a separate, you get another unique Banshee cosmetic set and more, and an extra quest and stuff. But so yeah, we'll have plenty of different Banshee cosmetics and even our character cosmetic sets that we can choose from just at launch. So, but so far, my favorite is that fully decked out, dripped out version there at the top.
Well, and then I remember there's even like a free Aranahe warrior pack, I think, just for having the
Oh yeah,
PS5 version.
PS5.
So,
Yeah.
like,
Oh my
again,
god.
maybe you don't want to look like an Aranahe. I don't know. I'm not going to judge anybody, but there's going to definitely be lots of options, which is exciting. It
Yeah,
makes the game even more fun.
I think the way I'll kind of play it in my head, my head canon, is I think I'll try to rock the gear of whatever particular clan I'm like doing missions for at the time in whatever region I'm in, just during that segment of the story, and maybe post game, or once you get to a section of the story where you maybe do reclaim your heritage of the Sorrentu, then I'll start really rocking that, just to kind of in my head canon be like, I'm with you guys, I'm with you, Arana. Hey, like, I'll wear your gear right now, you freaking master weavers,
Hey,
so
I think that makes sense, though. I mean, it's just a game, but it's like you're showing respect to that clan while they help you find your
yeah.
way or whatever they teach you, whether it's, how to ride an Ikran or whatever, capture a dire horse, all that fun stuff. So, no, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And just a fun way to play the game. And Brandon Lewis says I'm going to build a custom bow and name it the Dr. Augustine Avenger 9000. This guy's reminding me of the fancy broomstick from Harry Potter. The Nimbus 2000. That's the fastest model yet. Yeah, man, awesome. I do hope we kind of get to, instead of just the gear, like a complete cosmetic set or gear set, that, like you said, kind of be able to customize it a little bit and maybe create your own custom look with different little elements. There you a little Arana here on the right hand side, a little Sorrentu over here, or Sorrentu in the middle. Yeah,
Which
yeah. So
actually you just triggered a thought. Remember, we were supposed to unlock a charm or some kind of trinket or something for our bow by watching one of the streams on Twitch. I don't even remember which
oh
stream it
yeah,
was
it was
now.
like wasn't it like a little Ikran looking charm?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, that
Y-
right there probably tells you some of that stuff. I'm sure will carry over between the different bows or whatever.
Yeah,
So that'll be
kind of like in
fun.
Call of Duty where you have those little charms hanging on your gun. You're just
Yeah,
moving it around left to right just to see it freaking dangle
yeah.
everywhere.
It's exactly
Oh,
like that.
one last here. It's going back to one that we got for the here. Come on. No. There we go. Where he was holding, which we now know because that mark is basically your, mark on your, that little, the thing on the song chord right there. So, and the fact that it's doesn't look like a, at the time when they kidnapped you, you wouldn't have a song chord that long, that big, because the children, they're so, the old breakdown of your tribe, whether you were family or not, it, who knows if you were the, son or daughter of the leaders of the Sorrentu clan, but for sure right there, he's kind of, he's kind of out for all the Sorrentu clan. He just wants to get rid of all, and just holding that right there in the key, kind of crazy.
Yeah, they do a really good job at just making you hate this guy just from this one image alone.
Yeah. I mean, I had forgotten that the fact that his order was, to exterminate all the children. And like, that's, even for like Avatar standards, that's pretty dark.
Yeah,
Like,
it
just kill
is.
all the kids. Man, you just wanted to go in there like freaking Anakin at the Jedi Temple, right? You wanted to order 66 it. But
Right,
no,
like
your
they're
teacher,
leaving the planet. They could just release all of them, but no, they decided to kill them
yeah,
all.
just exterminate them. I mean, maybe, in his twisted mind, it was like the fact that we've trained them in our ways. They're going to be more of a problem. Well, I guess he was right. They're going to be more of a problem in the future. Once they grow up. since they'll basically fight like us. So yeah, man, pretty evil, like you said right off the bat. You already hate this guy. Just looks like people have said in the chat, like an a-hole. So, yeah, man. But that's pretty much all we gathered from that brand new story trailer. Anything you guys caught that maybe we didn't? Anything else you'd like to discuss? Let us know now. Drew, you got anything?
This guy kind of reminds me of like if Parker Selfridge and Miles Quaritch had a baby, it would have been this guy. They kind of mix them together in the same.
It's so true. Yeah, for real. Because it's like a corporate guy, yet at the same time, he does give you the sense that he's going to be, like people have said earlier in the chat, like a final boss, like where he is going to be able to hold his ground against. Right. He also has the muscle and stuff to back it up, the training. So you're right. It's like a mixture of the just the corporate with the military put together. So yeah, man, I hope he's formidable. I hope it's a great story. And pretty soon we'll start seeing more. Like I said, they are shipping out, Assassin's Creed Mirage debuts on the 5th in just some days from now. And right after that, the next thing they're going to concentrate on is this, Frontiers. So hopefully in the weeks to come, we have a lot more that we can talk about, which even with what we gotten, man, I've had fun. So hope you guys enjoyed.
I think more on a serious note, like something that's like really I've become impressed with as we see more and more of this game. When we first saw it, I was kind of a little iffy on the graphics. Like if I had to pick one thing that I was kind of like, I think that could look better, is like I wish the graphics were awesome. But the last 2 trailers we've got have definitely shown much better graphics. And that makes me super happy because I want this game to be as immersive as possible. And I'm okay if the graphics aren't the best in the world, but like I want really good ones because, we're going to be playing this game for several years. And so that, like, the worry that I kind of had originally of how it was going to look has really gone away. So I'm really happy and pleased with what we've seen these last 2 trailers.
Yeah, and that's good to hear because I didn't really, have that hesitation from even that first major reveal that they had of the game in a few months ago in June, where they finally kind of, showed us new trailers and we got to see more of it. But I know that there were some people that was, like you said, the only one gripe that they had was visuals. But honestly, these last couple trailers, like you've mentioned, they've already kind of knocked it out of the park. They've stepped up the visuals even from where they were maybe just a few months ago, where, man, it really looks like you're going to be in an awesome, story that can match up to, an experience like the movies, and then here you're going to spend so much more time than we even have with the characters that we've known for like 15 years. So in this game, you're honestly going to become even more familiar with these regions and these characters. So hopefully it really does come out great for everybody, for all of us,
Yeah, that's a great point too. There's going to be people that, after playing this game, probably fall in love with their favorite clan in this game, and you're going to be able to probably spend as much time as you want with them. And so, like, instead of like, oh, I love the Metkayina, you're going to hear people saying, I love the Aranahe, like that's my favorite clan. So that's going to be wild and kind of crazy to think about.
Exactly. And then here in the chat, Brennan, I'm kind of the same way, man. He says, I play games from 2011. Graphics to me look crazy good. And honestly, because Drew, I think you, like me, we still touch back on Skyrim. Like, people are still playing Skyrim and have put hundreds and thousands of hours into it. And honestly, when you look at it now, it looks really dated. But it's like, who cares? It's a ton of fun. You know what I mean? And just the fact that they had crammed so much into that game that you can still play that years later is what I really hope is in this game.
No, you're exactly right. And that's why I want it to look as good as it can now because, like Skyrim, I probably will be still playing this game in 5, 6, 7, 10 years from now. Like, I'm pretty sure Skyrim came out on 11/11/11. So,
Yeah, you're right. It
it's a
did.
long time.
That's probably the game, Brennan. Is that the game you're even referring to? Is it Skyrim? Because you said you're playing games from 2011. It's
Yeah.
probably Skyrim. And I'll put once again this. I agree with Brianna Brown there in the chat. Like this shot with this character here was incredible. Like the motion in the face and everything, it looked awesome. Like whoa, is that I'm noticing bioluminescence on the Ikran there in the background towards the
It
right?
sure looks that way. It definitely
I
looks
did
that way.
not even catch that until now. That that looks awesome. Oh
I
man.
love even just the paint on the face. Like it's not completely
Yes.
uniform. Like it's just looks it looks
Like
hand
real
painted
paint on a
on.
face.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god. And then the best part is, like we said, it's not even just what you're gonna get at launch. The fact that we know we're gonna get support on this game for a while, because with that season pass, you get 2 story expansions. And who's to say, they don't even expand on it even more in the future? Maybe post Avatar 3. But even just this leading up to Avatar 3, having 2 story expansions, that's one can only hope that one of those is like a water region. It has to be. Even if it's not obviously like Metkayina, things like that, we know because they're not supposed to touch on the stuff in the movies. We're in a completely different corner of Pandora. But you're still going to have, ocean, dwelling tribes over here on this side as well in these oceans. So you'll still get similar creatures. Will we get an elu, a skimwing? It's like, come on, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point because again, it could be somewhat different, but still like be a water area. And I'm expecting a lot out of these expansions. Like I don't just want more missions, although I wouldn't be mad. It's like I'm hoping to see new tribes, new lands if possible, like
Yes.
new areas. Like please, please don't just be like small scale missions and things. So hopefully they really deliver with at least like every other DLC, if not every one.
Yeah, I'd say that for me, the most disappointing thing the story expansions can be is just kind of what it says, it's story expansion. So it's just more missions and things in the same lands that we have at launch. But I don't think so because the majority of games that word it story expansion, people still do expect and they deliver a new region as well as a new story. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
and like you said, it'd be great to have something that's these three are going to be completely different from each other. Type of forest we know from the first movie, and then plains, and then a different type of forest, like what sequoia, like giant sequoia trees, and it's twisted, and what's going on here. But it'd be great, like you said, to go to something completely different, like a water tribe on this side of Pandora, where we can kind of explore those islands. Because honestly, we didn't get to explore almost anything of the Metkayina Islands. Like we're always on the water, but we didn't get to explore inland. Like what did some of these, islands look like inside? We just have some concept art that never made it into the movie. But yeah, it'd be cool to explore some type of water tribe on this side of Pandora.
well, and that's a great point because there's actually a lot I'd like to explore. Like not even necessarily being in or under the water in game. Like as you said, like the islands, the areas around them. Like there's a lot to do there, even without creating a immersive world and that we can go swim in as well.
Yeah, exactly. So and that's what I can only think of for like one of those two is like please give me a water one, because obviously we've come out of the second movie and now we've seen things like Elu and Skimwing, especially the Skimwing, where I'm like I want to ride one of those in in Frontiers. Like it'll be so awesome, especially with this new gear system, like, you know, getting gear on a skimwing or an elu. Like, come on, like that'd be awesome. But then it's
Yeah.
like, what would that other region be? That's You're getting to other territory, like maybe a polar, maybe a desert. You can get even crazier, like one we maybe haven't even touched on in the movie, completely different.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that would be a great way to tie in what we're going to see. Obviously not the exact same land, but a similar territory as to what we will see in Avatar 3. Like, I think that would be great to have something along the same lines of like the Ash people, maybe something similar to another volcanic region with totally different people, but still like kind of get us hyped for the next movie as we lead into that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So it'll be exciting. We got a few months to build up towards the release of this game itself, and then honestly, it doesn't stop there. Like we've said, we got 2 story expansions, so it's going to just be, anticipation, and we'll get to those eventually. Obviously, we're going to have tons to just dive into in the main game proper, which will probably take us a long time. Like we've said, we're going to probably just be wandering and exploring. Oh, and the best part, that you can kind of experience this with a friend if you wanted to. That's awesome. Like you could just go exploring with your friend. You don't even have to do the missions or the side quests. Like you could just be like, hey, you want to roam around Pandora with me for a while? Like that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it really is. Like, I mean, any of you guys in the chat want to play together? You guys want to play with us sometimes? Like, just let us know. Like, I mean, I think that'd be a blast playing with different people. I know me and Jerry are obviously going to play together a lot, so it's going to be fun.
Yeah, definitely. Once it comes out, we'll have to, have some kind of I mean, obviously, I think we're going to be on PS5, so if anybody does have PS5, we'll kind of come up with that later, like how that would work. And but yeah, definitely, because I think that'd be fun.
And I believe there is crossplay. I could be wrong on that, but I swear I've read that. So,
Oh, well, then there you go. If it is crossplay, as long as you do have either the PC one, it's like good luck to you, because even the minimum specs on that are pretty crazy. Like I gave them to somebody that asked me the question for them on Instagram. But if you at least have a Xbox Series X or a PS5, and don't forget Black Friday is coming around. So for anybody here in the United States, Black Friday, big deal, big savings. Maybe you can get into one of these systems before the game is even out the following month, or just like a couple weeks later, honestly. 1 or 2 weeks after Black Friday. So that'll be your last chance to maybe get one on sale.
yeah, and Jerry, I just wanted to verify what I said. So, on Xbox.com, it shows Xbox cross platform co op. So, if you are on Xbox, you should still be able to play with people on other platforms.
On platform. There you go. Perfect. Even better. So, yeah, there you go, guys. That's so far everything we know about Frontiers. Like I said, if we ever missed anything, let us know. But pretty sure we were pretty thorough. We've done the previous stream, this one. But also, we want to keep coming back on Fridays. So if you guys have any suggestions of what you would like for us to cover, or if you just like little hangout, Avatar Talk Fridays, whatever is fine with us. We had the idea of maybe going through the comics from the beginning, things like that, for maybe if anybody hasn't experienced the comics fully, kind of reading through them like we did with the High Ground, because I believe that's the only comic we read through, right? Was the High Ground? I believe so. Believe so. Plus, there's tons of lore. There's tons of stuff in the, like, I started to make lore videos again. I got one out on the Neytiri, because she was the last of the Sully family that I hadn't made a lore video with the information we got from both the art book and the visual dictionary, and also one for Elu. And that one, I kind of narration where it kind of made it sound a little bit like in my head like a nature documentary. It was kind of like what I was going for, kind of like a David Attenborough type, like an older British gentleman narration on that one. Um, but yeah, other than that, just let us know. I hope you guys had fun today. I sure did. Anything else you got, Drew, before we head out?
Appreciate everybody showing up. Like honestly, as long as it's been since we've created any content on here, especially like podcast wise, and then just kind of as slow as Avatar's been in general. Like I think it's cool that anybody at all showed up. So it's great. Like having some familiar faces back and you guys like talking the whole time. Like that makes it so much more fun. So thank you for everybody for showing back up, and thank you for Jerry for hosting this, man. It's always a lot of fun when we get together and just talk about anything to do with Avatar.
Exactly. Just obviously the biggest thing is like we just wish there was more to talk about this year. I'm pretty sure everybody thought we were gonna have tons of stuff, and this year was gonna go different. But like we said earlier, they're cooking, so we just have to be patient. Maybe next year we'll start getting some concept art teases, maybe of Avatar 3, but I really wouldn't expect anything until at least next year sometime. Because even at that point, you're a year away from 2025. So pretty much right now we're just kind of on the road to Frontiers, and then we'll kind of stay on it for a while. With the further expansions that Frontiers itself is going to have. So, but hopefully there's some stuff that just kind of surprises and comes out of the blue, and gives, no pun intended, and gives us, more more to talk about. But yeah, like you said, thank you guys for just showing back up and welcoming us again. Oh, like always, kind of like you guys are kind of like these two characters right here in this shot, just welcoming us back into Home Tree after we went away for like a very long journey. And yeah, it's just always fun to talk to you guys in the chat, especially all the recurring people and even the new ones we see. So yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, because me and Jerry could talk Avatar for hours. I mean, we've literally done it on the phone, but just having other people just makes it that much more fun. So we really, truly do appreciate you guys all being here.
And like I said, we'll make the effort to maybe make these just standard again every Friday like we used to back when we really had a lot of stuff to talk about every so often. Like we said, we'll dive in with we got comics. There's still lore that we could cover, little details from like the sequel and things like that. So we'll try, and even if it's just to talk with you guys, we'll try to be here now on a recurring basis on Friday, so you guys can kind of look forward to it if you're available. Just to come hang out with us for like an hour and a half or 2 hours or so.
Yeah, for sure. We'll probably always have some kind of topic just to get, conversation going, but we can always deviate from it.
Yeah. Brandon Lewis, y'all in the Avatar Discord server by any chance? No, to be honest, I find Discord personally for me very very complicated. I guess I'm already that old, I guess, but I didn't think so. But for me, that's a young person's game right there. I get very confused when it comes to Discord. So I don't know about Drew, but I am not on Discord.
I don't think I'm in any servers currently. I do have a Discord and I use it to chat with some people on there, but nah, I don't really participate in any servers so much.
But obviously, you can find us on the two we're active on is Instagram the most, where you could always just shoot us a message, yeah, just come, talk to us there. Or obviously here on Fridays when we do the streams, it's always great to talk to you guys here in the chat live. So, yeah, Discord is a bit wild to say the least. Yeah, I figured so as well. So we kind of like to keep things just chill. So, for us, for at least for me, this works out great. Along with Instagram, that's where I post as well, just different Instagram posts. It's always guys. It's great to see you guys both there and here. Like Aftem Child, like it's awesome. I always see the support over there and here as well, even live. So it's incredible. So thank you so much for being here with us, guys. But that'll wrap it up. For this episode of Exploring Avatar. Hopefully we come to you guys again next Friday. We don't know for sure, but obviously we'll let you guys know. And but yeah, that's it from us. Drew, any last little words for them?
If any of you guys are on Instagram, because that's about the only place I really talk with people, just leave your at, and I will add you. Because I know sometimes people add me, and there's so many people on there and stuff. I don't always get people I know added back, and it's not on purpose. So if you guys want to leave your names on there, I'd be happy to add anybody who I'm not already following, so we can stay in touch. And that way you guys will know when we are going to do a show and when we're not.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for showing up. Hope you had fun. Thanks for talking some Avatar and specifically Frontiers with us. We'll see you guys on the next episode.
Later.